Yatta! Did it! Don't look at my bald head. So at Fluyo, we had a pretty massive breakthrough this month, and I'm going to talk all about it, and I think you guys are going to really like it. Let's go. And by the way, if I come across as a mad scientist in this video, it is because I am one. This has been insane to build and to make, but we've done it. In fact, we actually have a few interesting updates to talk about, but the first one and the last one are the most interesting, so stick to that. But before we go into the update, I have to let you know that our WeFunder campaign is closing in 5 days. There's literally a timer on the campaign page. This is your last chance to invest, or if you've already invested or made a reservation, definitely confirm your investment, otherwise it's not going to go through. And a huge thank you to everyone who's invested so far. I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end of the video. Okay, so I've spent the last few years of my life trying to figure out how to teach grammar and the logic of a language in literally the most fun and easy to understand way possible. Do you know how hard that is? People hate grammar. They despise it with a passion. It's actual torture for some people. So we had 2 problems. Well, one was how do you actually make learning grammar easy so people can learn it? And the second is, how do you make learning grammar fun enough so people don't want to chuck their phone across the room? And our answer to that was audio lessons, starring animated characters that bring the experience to life. They're more fun, it's a little bit more digestible, and we made sure to strip out a lot of the heavy kind of grammatical jargon. And honestly, in the app, they're pretty solid.
You might wonder why you don't hear the X at the end of V.
7 out of 10, as they currently are. And boy, was it hard to get this far. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and years working with seasoned language teachers to build these courses. Our first versions of these, they were rough. The second version was better. The third version was getting there. Then the fourth version, which is what we kind of currently have in the app, is pretty good, but it's still honestly kind of tedious. Some of the lessons take you 5-6 minutes plus to get through. They're a bit long, and they try to cram a lot, just too much words and new information into one of them. And honestly, that is somewhat permissible, but the fact is there's just not enough of them. Because of of so much trial, a good amount of error, we ended up with around 50 audio lessons per language. Maybe a little bit more than that, and those are mainly for beginners. And you can also blow through them in a month, and that is a problem. So here's the breakthrough. I put my head down, I grinded, I coded 3 internal Fluyo apps to help our course creators rapidly create courses in a brand new format that we've been developing, which is a lot more bite-sized. I call them Fluyo Bites, and I really like these because instead of the traditional 5 to 6 minute grammar lessons that we currently have in the app, these new lessons are 90 seconds long. They are super short. They are super snackable. If they were a candy, they'd be fun-sized, and they are actually a lot more funny, which is huge because humor is important, evidently. Otherwise, people don't watch your videos. But we are making 500 Fluyo Bites designed to take you from 0, essentially A1, all the way up to upper intermediate B2, covering all the grammar you need in the easiest way possible. And the good news is we're starting to roll them out starting next week around May 7th. Now, initially, I sent out an email saying, oh, April 30th, we're going to get them by then. But I think we've learned our lesson from the launch, and don't rush things. So I want to make sure that they're done properly. They might be a little bit rough in the beginning, but they're solid. So if you have a Fluyo account, we'll email you when they're available. And honestly, you know what? We have a DM system in Fluyo, so we probably will shoot everyone a message in the app for new updates, which honestly we probably should have been doing. That is a good thing. I will write that down. So, language-wise, French will be the first language to get these new mini lessons, and if that rollout goes out smoothly, then we're going to expand to the other languages probably a week or 2 after we get your feedback. This is massive. We are essentially going from an app that has 1 to 2 months of content to an app that has 1 to 2 years. Damn. And the content is taught much better and much more strategically and just cohesive. And I'm so hyped to finally share it with you. I might be using humor to mask the immense struggle it took from the whole team and especially my coding environment to be able to do this. But it took a ton of breakthroughs. On the tech side, we've got some cutting edge LLMs. that literally did not exist maybe 2-3 months ago. On the content side, we've been manually crafting and testing essentially 5 separate versions of the course over the last few years. And a huge shout out to the incredible members of our language team who've been working on a new syllabus and teaching methodology that has really supercharged everything. We finally landed on a method of teaching that I believe is superior and that I'm happy with, and I am very picky when it comes to language education. If it's not, if it doesn't feel like, then I don't know how to explain that. But I'm picky and I'm never happy, and I'm finally happy, which is weird. And it is truly a great blend of AI and human effort in a truly respectful way that leverages what both sides are best at. That means no more humans manually creating 9,000 example sentences by hand. That should be banned by the Geneva Convention. I am sorry that, I mean, they were paid, but not doing that again. Like, these lessons are glorious. The way that they reference previous lessons, the way that they review stuff you've already learned, or exclusively only use the words that you've already learned while teaching you new grammar. It's the best. It's like, I would shed a tear, but I'm not gonna shed a tear for grammar. And I don't think what we're doing has ever been done before. I don't think it was technologically possible, certainly not on this scale. And I can't wait for you to try it, because I mean, how cool is that? I'm just very excited for you guys to finally have content to work through, and we're gonna try to figure out a way to give a free month or two for people on Kickstarter, because we know that it took a while to get to this point. But we have to figure out the promo codes, because Apple sometimes, it's complicated, but we'll email. In addition to the rollout of these new audio courses, we're also going to be introducing a new character to the world. He's the second member of the cast, and he has a very different energy to Mizuna, which I'm excited about. And speaking about characters, we got to talk about story. You see, for a while, Fluyo had a bit of an identity crisis. Were we a language learning app or a game? At the time, the only real reference point for success in our industry was other language learning apps. So we leaned more in that direction. But honestly, I don't really think that's where our heart was. At least not fully. So now we're pivoting. We're going way more in the game direction. More in line with the vision that we teased in our original Kickstarter trailer. So not just another generic language learning app that, is gamified and has, badges. Like, we are building a world, a story, and truly a reason to care. That starts with a brand new onboarding scene that sets the scene from the very beginning. Who you are, where you are, why you're learning, who is this dolphin, and why you're diving in to the abyss. From there, we're introducing new characters and weaving in story stops. Little moments throughout your journey where you'll learn more about the world of Fluyo. In general, the app is going to feel a lot more cohesive and less like a collection of disjointed or disconnected lessons, and more like a purposeful adventure, which is kind of what we were hearing from you guys that you wanted and expected. And outside all of that narrative magic, we've also made like a jillion bug fixes and stability upgrades. So the app that you'll be using in May is gonna be wildly different from the one that you saw like a month or even 2 months ago. So massive shout out to our engineering team and our new QA wizard, Jamie, who's been like relentlessly hunting down bugs so that you guys don't have to. Again, we're not perfect. There's still going to be stability issues, but it's gotten a lot better, and we're getting there. We're working on it. Now, another really cool thing that we're working on in May, and like I said, we are, I mentioned in the last video, we're building in public, so we're going to keep doing that, is a complete revamp of our word lessons. This ties in directly with our new bite-sized audio lessons, because now before each one you're going to be learning a set of 4 words, and we just want to figure out how to teach words in the most engaging and enticing and exciting and tantalizing way possible. There's a Google form in the description, so drop your email in, and when we start testing various new formats for these new word lessons, we might send you some prototypes to vote on. Whatever gets voted in the highest, we'll ship, we'll put in. Because right now, our word lessons, to me, they feel kind of like water. They don't really have much flavor. They're just kind of there. I mean, they teach you words, but they're all right. And it's made even worse by the fact that, our current audio lessons cram in so many like kind of new words that by the time you reach the word lesson, it's kind of a bit useless because you've already learned the words. But now we're flipping that. You'll learn the 4 words first, before the audio lesson, which makes the words feel a lot more meaningful and not just like some random busy work. Because if we're going to be teaching you the 3,000 most common words in the language, which by the way is like honestly the best way to build actual proper fluency, then we've got to do it in a way that's actually fun. So I'm really hyped for the word lesson revamp. We have a lot of different ideas to make it a lot more gamified and fun and fast-paced and just dopamine-inducing, as opposed to now where it's kind of just eh. And when it comes to practicing everything that you've learned, whether it's from the new kind of bite-sized audio lessons or whether it's from the upgraded word lessons, it really all comes down to our battles. Our current battles, well, in the last video, we ran a survey and people rated them 4 out of 10 in terms of fun. Not good. But the good news is, last video, I showed that I kind of lost my mind again and coded a whole prototype for the new battle system. Again, I am not a programmer, but I just had to get it out of my head. And that prototype, well, people rated it an 8 out of 10 fun-wise. That is a massive jump. If you haven't tried the new Fluyo battle prototype and you want to, you can go check it out. There's a link in the description. And after you play with it, there's a quick survey that you can fill out. But we got a ton of great feedback from that. Some people said, oh, show me the mistakes I made at the end of the battle. Make easy mode actually easy because it's a little bit too challenging. We got, comments like that. So now we're building version 2 based off of that, and then version 3. And then essentially once we hit the sweet spot, which is like anonymous users giving us, 9 out of 10 for the battles, and we're going to roll into that. And it's going to be the best damn way to review vocab and grammar, like, ever, period. So yeah, that is the big updates. I am ridiculously hyped and honestly, super worn down. I have been coding like crazy, trying to get videos out and just juggling a ton, and it's been a lot. But I want you guys to know that, we're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving you hanging for dry. Fluyo's a water world, so, just gotta keep swimming. But yeah, what we've got cooking is gonna make Fluyo the best language learning app out there. It's not hyperbole. I genuinely believe it. And honestly, because, unlike a lot of other startups, I'm not building something, I think people want. I'm building something I know I want. I'm building something for myself so I can use for Korean. And honestly, when we first started making this new bite-sized Fluyo lessons, it was one of the first times where I was like, I need this. Like, I need to learn them. Like, I'm creating these lessons and I'm learning stuff about French and Spanish and Korean that I'd never had explicitly explained to me, and it's really cool. And that's a very good sign. So lastly, also, our WeFunder is closing in around 4 or 5 days. So if you've been thinking about investing in Fluyo, this is your last chance. We're not going to be doing kind of an public investment round pretty much ever again. And if you've already made your a reservation, but you haven't confirmed it yet, then make sure you confirm it. There's, maybe around 100, 200 people that haven't confirmed yet. And if you don't confirm, your reservation is not going to go through. And if Fluyo becomes, a very big company, you're going to be mad. So I'm telling you now, so you don't come for me later. I truly believe Fluyo is the future. Our team keeps leveling up month after month. We've got 500 lessons on the way, like over 500 lessons per language on the way. They all should be in by mid-May. French even sooner than that. Word lessons are getting a total makeover. Battles are about to become actually fun, and the story is finally coming alive. So wefunder.com/Fluyo. This is your final call. We're hoping that we can try to hit 800K before. It would make a huge difference. You'd be surprised when it comes to burn rate. I don't know if we will be able to hit that. I'm praying that we can, but regardless, I wanted to thank you guys for your support over the years and just everything. And, if you've already supported the campaign, I appreciate it. So, but yeah, anyways, next video, we'll be back to normal, helpful language learning content and not me giving an update. And now I'm going to go back to resting and coding and just being a dolphin. All right, peace.